Yes. Are you able to? There, how many people are there? Have they joined? Someone? Huh? You cannot see who has joined. No? Hello, everyone. I am Professor H.N. Mishra here for the live session of this course on post-harvest operations and processing of fruits, vegetables, spices, and plantation crop products. This is the first live session. So welcome you all. If you have any queries, please put in the chat box. Our teaching assistants are there. They will collect and pass on to me, and then I will reply to this. So before that, I will take a few questions which were put on the Google Sheet. That there is a one Susmita Sahu. She has just asked, what is food technology? So food technology is a branch of study where we study the science and engineering of food. That is the technological processes for mass production, processing, packaging, and storage, handling, etc., of food. You can say, and with the by involving the scientific principle, scientific and engineering principle. So mass production of food as well as production by masses, utilizing the scientific and engineering principle. And the purpose here is the food should be processed and packaged in such a way that its quality, characteristics, that is the value, is preserved, it is kept, if not increased, at least it is maintained. At the same time, its appeal, that is the food should be inviting on the table, okay, as well as on the shop shelf. When it is there in the shop shelf, if people are going by that, one should be tempted to buy. So it involves the manufacturing, packaging, storage, handling, transportation, etc. of the food. So that is, it is a broad science, and it involves, there are at least 3 pillars of food technology. One is the food chemistry, then food microbiology, and finally food engineering. So these are the 3 major branches, and all these are interrelated to each other. That is the chemistry dictates the microbiology, and if you want to preserve a food, become a good food technologist, you have to have a sound understanding of the microbiology of the food, because it is the microorganism which create major problem in food as far as the spoilage and other things are concerned. So for that, if you are knowing that, having a knowledge of microbiology, then you can apply the engineering principle to solve those problems. So that is the food technology. I hope I am clear, and Ms. Sahu has got a good idea. Then the other question is Mr. Saumik Malik. He writes that, sir, are these wooden crates safer for international transportation of commodities, fruits, and vegetables? And sir, what are the advanced packaging technologies for transportation of high humid commodities in international stage? Yes, that will depend. That is the wooden crates, etc. That is will depend upon the packaging. What are the type of the fruits and vegetable? What its perishability? What is its structure, etc. Accordingly, depending upon the characteristics of the food material, and if it is the like international transportation you are talking about, international transportation, maybe by cargo ship, it may be by that sea route, etc., or even international nearby countries like even Pakistan and Sri Lanka and other, even it may be road transportation. So depending upon what is the type of the transportation, how long it may take. Like if you go by ship, it may take a longer duration. All right. So all these factors are considered while designing, while finalizing a packaging. And of course, that is the wooden crates accordingly can be, wooden crates can be selected, or nowadays even sometimes these wooden crates are being replaced with some nano material, like that is the crates which are maybe plastic like material, which have a better that is strength but lightweight. There are many materials, that is those materials which are used for making bodies of the vehicles, etc. So they have much more strength, but at the same time they are lightweight. So this type of material can also be used for making this. Okay. Regarding that is the advanced packaging technology, etc., which are talking wooden crates, they are often reused and have a higher efficiency for larger fruits, vegetables, etc. And for transportation of high humid commodities in international stage, high humid commodity, obviously you have to make a packaging material first. That is, you have to use, that again will depend upon that what is the type of the commodity and what is the humidity. Okay, whether you want that it should not dry, means I think that your intention here, you want that the material which should be transported in the wet condition. It should not dry during transportation. So in such cases, you need to take that is a barrier material, that is which is fully, that is the packaging material which provides full barrier to the water vapor movement, etc. WVTR should be as low as possible. Okay, and the same as far as possible, the low temperature transportation, etc., cool transportation along with the packaging should be done in these cases. Then, as Puspendra Arya, there is a question from him, that is, what is the scope of dehydrated vegetables in India? Yes, much more scope, not only in India, but again in the international stage, that dehydrated food, because it reduces the bulk. So by reducing the bulk, it also, there are many other benefits attached to it, like storage, energy cost, okay, energy cost for transportation, energy cost for handling, etc. Everything is reduced, and at the same time, keeping quality, shelf life is increased. Okay, so dehydrated food are obviously always better, and they are good not only the Indian market, but in the for abroad, for export, etc. Also, even for the army people, army ration, that is these dehydrated vegetables, etc., can be made, and so that they can be carried by the soldiers on the high altitude areas, etc., inaccessible places, etc. But only care has to be taken that particularly for fruits and vegetables, the technology that is used for dehydration should be such that the material should have a good rehydration capacity. That is, it should be vegetables which has been dried, or like pea or cauliflower or such other fruit chips, etc. They should have, because before eating, many cases they might be required to be rehydrated. So they should have good rehydration capacity, so that they absorb moisture whenever, either in the lukewarm water or in the normal water, as the case may be. And that is the challenge here. Still, in some of the cases, it is a challenge that the dehydration technology are many, but majority of the traditionally used dehydration technologies, they give little poorly rehydrating products. So by using advanced technologies, innovative technologies like radio frequency drying or microwave drying or such other novel techniques of drying, or if they are traditionally dried, then some instantization, they should be instantized, like after the drying, post-drying product, they can be given a brief exposure to the ionizing radiations, which causes scission of the polymer chain, and it improves in its rehydration characteristics. So there are many other, like a flash heating of the superheated steam, or even radio frequency heating, just flash heating. These are some of the methods which can be given. Then the dehydrated vegetables can be exposed to these processes, to improve their rehydration characteristics. So a dehydrated product which has a good rehydration characteristics, it has a lot of scope in the market. Yes. Then the other question is from the Himanshu Sainik. How do we can integrate emerging technology like artificial intelligence and data science in betterment of processing of agricultural produce in the country? Yes. Artificial, there are a lot of now. This is the one area, niche area in which all of this, not only in agricultural production, but in the your post-harvest management in food processing. There is the automation of the processes, control. Now robotics are being used in the post-harvest management, in the lifting, in the handling, in the transportation. Even AI data and data science like Internet of Things can be used for the management of the storage, that is smart storage, smart packaging, or smart processing, precision control in the process parameter, precision control in the environmental conditions inside the storage room. Now using Internet of Things, data science or this artificial intelligence, there are smart storages where you keep the material and they can, there are some indicators are provided, and in the outside, even without opening the storage room, these indicators can provide what is the condition of the material inside the, even there are different compartment storage in the same storage facility. By using this Internet of Things and data science or artificial intelligence, one can have different chambers where different environment can be maintained. That is the different commodities requiring different temperature, gaseous composition, relative humidity, etc. They can be maintained in different compartments. So it is smart packaging, similarly traceability. So there are many applications of artificial intelligence and data science which is coming, which is the emerging area, and it is coming in a big way in food processing sector as well. So in brief, you can say precision processing, precision packaging, smart processing, smart handling, smart transportation. This can be done using this. Then there is another question by Mr. Sanjay Subodhi. Okay, I think he do not have any question. It is wonderful to learn the course in online mode. Thank you for the same. I have a few questions related to fruits and vegetable processing. So there are so many ingredients in food processing industry to make a single product. In this case, how can we ensure the quality products? Is it possible only by lab test and good manufacturing practices? How to formulate a new product? Give some technical advice related to pickling process, etc. I think the question is very long, and if after you have attended the full course, you will get the answer, reply of these questions. All right, because it is the formulation processing, okay, making the quality products. So how to manage the ingredient quality, what is the good manufacturing, so everything you have to, you see, it is a you have to now starting from the raw material. If in the factory, if one supplies a bad quality or inferior quality raw material, so in the factory one cannot do miracle. So obviously good quality raw material, so good agricultural practices, good horticultural practices, good transportation practices, good storage practices, all these are important. So the material should be ensured, the delivery in a good condition in the processing factory, and in obviously then in the inside the factory, then one should follow that good hygienic conditions and good manufacturing practices, cleaning practices, sanitary practices, that is the operators, their personal safety and hygiene, etc. Everything should be followed, and then as far as possible that if for better quality control, one should have a proper that is automated processes as far as least human involvement, and then you can control quality better. And as far as the pickling process you are telling? That is the pickling process. Basically, it is you are reducing the pH of the food, either by adding acid from outside or encouraging the in situ fermentation and production of acid. So these fruits, concerned fruits and vegetable, their acidity is increased, all right, and so that when acidity is increased or pH is reduced, then it inhibits the microbial growth. Okay, but pickling at the same time that oil etc. is added, so it's stops the contact between the fruit as well as atmospheric oxygen, so that the oxidation related changes are not there. So you have to, otherwise it may be that fungus growth etc. can be if the oxygen is available there. So that the pH reduction, then oxygen exclusion, this should be accordingly that, and the moisture should be as minimum as possible, the contact moisture. These are the some of the of course the pickling also we have taken in the maybe in the 6th week or 7th week, these things will come. So when you study, you will get the details of this process etc. Okay, there is a D Surya Bai, I think she asked, can you explain the importance of post harvesting? Oh, that is the everything. That is the importance of post harvesting, means that is the, you see, in agricultural production, that is the one before harvest and post harvest. So post harvest, because you cannot eat the commodities, there are not only a few commodities which can be eaten as such raw. Also it is not practiced commonly, like fruits, some vegetables, salad etc., or even some fruits are consumed raw, but majority of them are processed, their value is added. Even those which can be consumed raw, they are so much perishable, they are highly perishable, many of them highly perishable, they do not have much shelf life. So by having appropriate post-harvest practices, post-harvest management practices, what we do, we try to ensure that to increase the shelf life, that is the capability of the commodity, as well as to add value in them by processing, post-harvest processing, we add value in them so that their market value is increased, their eatability, eating quality is improved as the case may be, their sensory appeal is increased, all right, even their safety and other factors are managed. So that is the post-harvest importance. So post-harvest operations and management are very important, particularly in the case of perishable commodities like fruits, vegetables, spices, etc. Otherwise, you know, there are about still huge amount, a significant portion, 1/4 of the commodities produced, processed, produced is wasted, and lot of countries' resources is being wasted. So that is the, by having a proper post-harvest management practices, we can minimize these losses, etc., and add value, make it available for the people. Okay. So other question is Vaisali Saha, what is the scope of food and nutrition master student in a vegetable industry? Yes, that is a lot of scope, whether you are, see, a food and nutrition, because nutritionist, whatever we are eating, that is we are eating for maintaining our health. So a nutrition student can analyze the things from their health point of view, the bioavailability of the nutrient, and once they are eaten, whether they are worth eating or not, or once we eat them, how they are getting assimilated in our body, how we are getting good nutrients, etc. So they have in the vegetable industry or fruit industry, or in general in any fruits and vegetable or food processing industry, that is the nutritionist has a much role, particularly nowadays health food, functional foods are being taught about, that let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food, and their nutrition comes in a big way. So these are the. Dr. Sinha Gautam has asked one question: water activity is considered a prime factor for spoilage by microorganisms apart from environmental conditions. To determine water activity in processed food like ready-to-eat meals or pastes, what are the methods to calculate or measure the water activity in any processed food. Will handout or PPTs be provided as I have to appear for the exam? It will be helpful to have PPT for the study. I think you can download the videos. They are available. All the videos, they are having PPTs. At the same time, I think transcript, NPTEL team will provide transcripts of all the weeks, and this transcript has some statement Word document and which do contain the PPTs. So that will be provided by the NPTEL to you. And regarding the measurement of the water activity is concerned, there are various methods. Okay, even for the quick measurement of water activity, one can use a water activity meter. There are available, but the only condition is the processed food should be highly hygroscopic in nature. The should not be hygroscopic. That is, the food should not be hygroscopic in nature. Otherwise, while you are measuring, it will absorb moisture and water activity will change. So the dry foods, etc., which are less hygroscopic, they can be used. The other method is to make a moisture absorption isotherm between moisture content and water activity. Like simply we take normal, that is the small amount of sample, we allow it to equilibrate with the moisture at different conditions, and once it gets saturated, the saturation moisture is found out, and then you can use this model for developing. You can use the gap model or BET model and find out water activity. So there are plenty of literature available on the method of determination. There are many various methods by which even instruments are available. In our laboratory, we are having water activity meter, where we also determine the water activity by that desiccator method. Okay, different desiccator we use at different relative humidity, have the saturated salt solution, put the sample, a small amount of sample, get it equilibrated, and then they analyze it. So these are the method part. So these were some of the questions which were put on the Google Sheet. Apart from that, there were a few questions, I think, that in the discussion forum, and most of them have perhaps been, I think, like 3 years, they have already answered. Just a few questions. Can defected having a fungal contamination be separated using color sorted? It means, I think, defected food, particularly fruit, having fungal contamination. So that depends upon what is the extent, how much contamination level is there. If the contamination level is such that it has changed the color, obviously you can measure it using a color sorter. But generally, this fungal contamination, if it is less, it has not, then that can be even, you can measure using hyperspectral imaging. But hyperspectral surface photography you can take, and even by small minute infection also, like we have developed a few methods of the hyperspectral imaging using the disinfestation in grains. That is the grain where even by your eyes we cannot measure, but hyperspectral camera, it can detect and it can visualize and analyze the data and provide this whether this is infected or not. So these are some of the questions. Now there are some questions has been asked. One question is by Mr. Sujit Kumar. As I am a agri engineering student, will you please tell me what are the different sources for doing training related to post-harvest industries? I think it is a live session. I would have been happy to, if this was some question, technical question related to the subject concerned, but yes, we can provide you the different sources for doing training related to post-harvest industries. You have to find out the industry, you have to make one-to-one contact, all right, to those industries and find out, particularly you decide in which area you want to do. If you are talking about the industry, so you contact the industry, personal contact, and that contact even maybe through, if you are a student, that can be done through the training and placement section of your institute. But if you want our help, our TAs will, you can write email, our TAs will reply to that, provide this. This is live session we are having for the technical. Okay. IOC CC is intelligent packaging. IOC CC, no? OC. Oh, OCCC is intelligent packaging value for money to purchase. Yes, there are definitely, I will say that yes, that is the, you see, not only value for money, many a times value for health. You see, intelligent packaging. Let's say one example of a fruit juice, which are now available in the market. All right, in different forms, attractive packages, but the packaging material, they are laminates, etc. All right, 7 layer, 8 layers now laminates, and you cannot see inside what is there. Okay, what is the condition of the juice inside, right? So this, but and although they are aseptically processed and packaged to make sure that there inside there is no contamination remaining and the product is safe. But you know, it is a mechanical. There may be a mechanical failure. There may be failure on the part of the operator who is operating that machine, aseptic processing and packaging machine. So it may result a faulty processing, means that is not full sterilization. Some of the microorganisms may remain there, or even the packaging sealing. If the sealing is not proper, there may be some leakage, minute leakage might be there. So these minute leakage which you cannot see with your visible eyes, these leakage, okay, or this microorganism with they are there, you cannot see. So here the and some of the microorganisms you may not know that if they grow, they may produce toxin, they may be dangerous to health. Okay, so this is where these intelligent packaging, that they inform the consumer the condition of the food which is there inside the package. So yes, there are time temperature indicators, there are leakage indicators, there are color indicators, etc. There are moisture indicators, or free flow indicator, etc. So by this one you can find out, yes, by these indicators, just analyzing, seeing the indicators, you can find the quality of the food which is there inside the packet and take your decision whether to discard that food or go ahead with that food or process that food before eating, etc. So in that way, the intelligent packaging keeps the consumer ready always and helps the consumer by any malpractices or any health hazard and such other aspects. So obviously, I will say that yes, it is value for the money to purchase. Okay, and I think at present this intelligent packaging, this is mainly confined to the larger that is the packages. It is coming slowly and slowly in the consumer pack, but in the institutional packages, this is really becoming very useful. Okay, this is the CCC. OCCC again. Can you tell me more about the biosensors available for us to use in the post-harvest agriculture, please? I think we have taken some classes on biosensors, etc. These various biosensors, they can be used. I think in this, if you want, you send the details. We will provide you. We can take a separate interactive session exclusively with you on these aspects. I will ask the person also. But these biosensors can be used for the, that is like one I told you in the intelligent packaging. Similarly, different sensors can be used for detecting the quality of the food. I told you the color sharpness, that the sensors can be used to find out the insect infestation. Okay, find out the other microbial contamination. These sensors can be used like in the commodity to find out its freshness, its color, okay, to find out its other characteristics, quality characteristics, even to whether there is any toxin present in the food, etc. So these are the various sensors. Of course, these sensors, they act on some conditions, like when these there is a respiration, or when there are other reactions they produce, like sometimes this nitrogen or amine compounds. So the spoilage can be detected by certain compounds. Sometimes some flavors, foul flavors, foul smell. So there are some sensors. like E-nose, that there are metal oxide sensors which is used for E-nose. Similarly, there are E-tongue available now. E-nose, E-tongue, so exclusively these biological sensors or metal oxide, chemical sensors, etc. are used to detect the quality of the food materials, right? So, yes, this is a good question. We can tell you separately if you want to know further details. Anand Prakash, what are the ways to reduce respiration rates other than low temperature and MAP and CA? Okay. Is there any low cost post harvest method to achieve the low respiration rate? Yes, that is the MAP, CA, and low temperature storage. These are the general methods which are used to reduce the respiration rate. Basically, you see that what is the respiration? In the respiration, the material, it consumes oxygen and leaves carbon dioxide. So you have to create a less oxygen environment around the food. Okay. Now this availability of the oxygen and this respiration reaction is dependent upon the temperature, etc. So if you lower down the temperature, obviously rate of respiration will reduce. Mind it, particularly these commodities, fruits, vegetables, etc. They will be good. They will be good in good condition till they are respiring aerobically. As soon as aerobic respiration stops, anaerobic respiration will start, and the material will spoil soon. So you have to maintain that the modified atmospheric storage, packaging, control atmosphere storage. You select the packaging material which is having a least permeability. Go for equilibrium humidity packaging. Okay, and then our nitrogen flushing. Okay, vacuum. I don't say that vacuum will be suitable here, because if you have a complete exclusion of oxygen, there will be anaerobic respiration. So maybe that particularly for whole fruits and vegetables which are active physiologically, this complete exclusion may not help. You have to go for a process where a proper balance between oxygen intake, O2, CO2 is maintained. So a proper combination of O2, CO2 you have to manage. Okay, so that this respiration rate, that is whether it is a climatic or whether it is a non-climatic. In the case of climatic fruits, that is the peak between the climatic minima and climatic maxima. That is the peak. Its slope should be as low as possible. Similarly, in the case of non-climatic, that is where after the harvest, the respiration rate goes on decreasing continuously. There should be again the slope should be as low as possible. You have to maintain that. Okay, and all these cases, I think low cost, that is a control atmosphere. Even that is, there are certain scavengers. Many times that is edible coating. Okay, edible coating, where in this packaging material you can have certain scavengers. You want scavengers which can consume oxygen or which can consume carbon dioxide and make it maintain it in the proper conditions. And even the combination of these technologies has been found beneficial. That is, you go for that, have the scavengers, also control temperature, maintain equilibrium humidity inside the and outside the package. So maintain all these things to get a proper rate of respiration. Alex Matthew, he wants to know what are the major equipment or machines one might require in a grape pulp processing industries. I think this question we will keep for the next live session. In the grape processing, wine making industry, etc. We are having a separate week. We are devoting 1 week. All right, where grape processing, grape pulp making. Today I can tell you that in general, for any fruit, because grape is that is the soft fruit. So that some pulping machine, pulpers, etc. you have to have, then a strainer, and then a separator, that is you have a clear cut juice, and then this juice, if you are going further for making wine industry, you should have fermentation, etc. Fermenters, etc. So I think this question you will get a more clear answer, and your things will be clear after you have read the wine and making industry, grape processing industry. I think 7th week or 8th week we are taking on this. So there all the processes and steps, machinery required will be taught to you, will be given to you. Okay. Then there is a Sai Kumar asks, which one is the most effective method? Monosonication or monothermosonication? Yes, that will depend again. What is the commodity? What is the purpose of doing? That is obviously that is monothermosonication. Here you are having pressure, heat, and ultrasound. All these three you are maintaining. Whereas the monosonication only one pressure and ultrasound you are maintaining. So and there is a 3 hurdle. It is basically a hurdle technology concept. So hurdle technology concept is that instead of having one method, you use combination of methods where you can reduce the severity of the one process. So obviously that the pressure, temperature, and ultrasound, when all these three are, so the severity of the other methods are reduced, and you can get the same effect with a better quality parameters. So if the more hurdles are there, but that much will depend upon the nature of the material. What is the material which is being processed? What are its characteristics? How these conditions are maintained, etc. Then there is another question from Nikhil Gaurav. Is gamma radiation technique can be useful for large scale cold storage? Okay. What are the factors needed to consider for using gamma radiation in cold storage? Okay, good question. That once you have done a gamma radiation, I do not see much effect of the cold storage, but the purpose is for which you are doing this gamma radiation. All right, like it can be for the fruits and vegetable. It is used to delay the ripening. All right, then in that case, there is both. It can act as a adjunct to the cold storage. That is cold storage in the when you are lowering down the temperature, there you are basically reducing the rate of respiration. So this in some way that this gamma rays or irradiation also will reduce. It will delay the rate of ripening. So that both it can have some synergistic effect. That is the gamma irradiation as well as that extension of shelf life, cold storage, both may be. But if you are doing that is the gamma irradiation for complete sterilization, suppose it is a fruit juice, and that fruit juice you are irradiating for complete sterilization, or if it is a pulp, you are irradiating for complete sterilization and then packing it, then the cold storage might not be required. So that will depend. That is what is the commodity, for what purpose you want to irradiate it, what is your main objective. Like the dehydrated fruits and vegetables. Dehydrated fruits and vegetables, gamma irradiation can be used to improve the rehydration capabilities, etc. But in the cold storage, definitely the commodities which are kept before keeping in the cold storage, they can be irradiated. Number one. Number two, even the whole storage facility inside the environment, that is a irradiation treatment can be given in some sort of radiation. That I don't know gamma irradiation which will be required there or not, or such other radiation like microwave, etc., UV radiation, etc. They can be used to sterilize the environment, the storage facilities, etc. So in that way, depending upon the, again, I will say that depending upon the type of the commodity, its requirement, one can have a synergistic use of both cold temperature as well as gamma irradiation facility. Otherwise, in general, this gamma irradiation facility is itself considered as a cold sterilization process or even non-thermal process. But there are certain instances like thermoirradiation, where the gamma as well as temperature, even irradiation facility, when it is foods are lower down, if their temperature, like frozen conditions, if it is the frozen foods, fruits and vegetables, frozen fruits, frozen peas, etc., if they can be irradiated to further increase their shelf life and without any much effect on the quality of the material. So that's because irradiation in the frozen state has been proved to be better. There is a Mr. Jitendra Kumar Kadam, Government of India is giving emphasis for increasing processing of horticultural crops. Still, we are processing only 2%. What are the reasons for low processing in India? Yes, now it is increasing and so is, but I find that your awareness by people like you, etc., definitely it will increase. There are many regions, like the number one, this availability, proper chain called management chain, because the nature of this commodity, fruits and vegetables. In my kitchen garden, there are a few. In my home, there are 4 trees. He is having 5 trees. So this production is scattered and unorganized. So there has to be a proper channel for the collection of the raw material, and where we are. In fact, we need some Burgess Kurian in the fruits and vegetable processing sector, like what he did in the case of milk. That is, milk also was the similar challenge. Earlier, some 2 cows, he's having 2 cows, 2 buffaloes he's having, but he made a complete movement and people are coming with their commodities and giving. So similar type of channel cooperative maybe there. Then I think government is taking care of this. The other issue you can say so far has been, it is not the technological. Of course, infrastructure was a constant earlier, but now it is coming. But still, that is the management of the technology and awareness among the people, okay, and their willingness of the people to use this technology. These are some of the content. But I am optimistic. I hope that in the days to come, the situation will improve. Surya Prakash Singh, how to identify mycotoxins produced due to post-harvest processing. Okay. Then these mycotoxins, in fact, what are the mycotoxins? Like aflatoxins, etc. There is aflatoxin is produced by Aspergillus niger, etc. Okay. So you can go by, there are various methods, either SPLC method or GCMS method, spectroscopic methods, etc. There are various laboratories. You have to go for the laboratory analysis itself. But sometimes, even like the commodity, even this peanut, groundnut, etc. Sometimes you find there also aflatoxin grows and it causes bitterness. So when you eat this peanut, you get some bitter taste. But that you may guess, but confirmative test you cannot say it is a. So you have to go a laboratory analysis. There are several methods available in the laboratory manual of analysis for aflatoxin, mycotoxins, etc. You can go SPLC, GCMS, MSMS, etc. So I think if there are no questions, not much questions, but the Indira Depal, kindly provide text transcripts. Yes, Indira, if you put this question to NPTEL, they will provide definitely. Okay. Now, one thing I would like to tell, at least here we have one questions we have been getting in the forum by some students, particularly those science students, because this course is such, there are people from the engineering background, there are people from the science background, there are people from the biology background. So particularly for those science background and biology background, there has been a questions that is from the numerical point of view. Okay. So you see, that numericals, we are giving very simple numericals. It is not that difficult, but you have to find out. This numerical is one way by which you can develop your reasoning. You see that, you read. I will advise, of course, engineering students, they are trained for that purpose, so they can do it. But science students also, those who are there, you just see, you read the question, whatever given, we have given in the assignment, and you find out first thing, what is given, what has been given in the question, and what is being asked for. Some values might be numerical values, might have been given, and those values can be used to find some other parameter. Okay, and for deciding, then you think of that how from these values there must be some relationship between the value given and the value asked for. So that relationship you have to find out. You use your reasoning, you use your power, you use your memory, because all these things have been taught in the class, in the PPTs, in this which week the assignment is there, in that week, in one or the other lecture. Definitely we have, wherever possible, we have given you certain equations, we have given you certain formulas, and in that formulas there are certain parameters, that is those parameters, some values are given. So simple thing, you have to put this given value in the formula and then calculate. And while calculating, you may have to take care. Sometimes it is, if it is a value might be given in gram and it is asked in answer is asked in kg. Okay, so you have to accordingly convert either kg to gram or gram to kg, and like that, millimeter, meter to centimeter, centimeter to meter, etc., whatever the case may be. So it is the one way to develop your reasoning. You develop your reasoning, develop your thought process, think about, coolly think. And for every assignment, you are getting 1 week time. 1 week time is given, and the books which we have given, the assignment, we have given the reference books in the first lecture. The reference books has been given. All these books are available online. So what you have to do, basically you have to download those books and see the assignment and practice these assignments. Okay, I am sure, but don't expect everything ready to make, ready to available, and there's a ready to cook, that you get everything cooked material. No, then that will not serve the purpose. Our purpose is to make you understand the subject, not only understand the subject. The purpose of giving the assignment is we are giving some problem, the problem which you may face in the industry. So how will you tackle those problems? So that is solving the numerical is one way of perfecting, you are making your ideas perfect and engineering perfect. So if someone of you want, I can take 1 or 2 examples and tell you. Otherwise, maybe that even next lesson, if you are fine, my sincere advice to you all is that you read the books which are given, read the lectures thoroughly, and then solve it. And they are very, very easy questions are there. Okay. If any doubt during assignment material, ask TA for step or hint. That is yes, you can ask the TA, you can put that forum, give the specific assignment where you are facing difficulty, what you are not able to understand, and teaching assistant, definitely they will reply, they will give you. But my advice to you is that don't ask that for every question you ask the TA. No. You first make because the TAs, I am advising the TA, when there is any such question, they will ask you. Even the TA's telephone number is there. All right. Or you can even email. You have the TA's personal email. So you can put your queries to TAs as well, even to me also. To my email, you can put the query. But before writing that, you must make your all efforts. That is, I searched this book at this and this page, this was the formula, this was the equation, I am not able to understand this particular step, please help me. Then definitely we will be happy to clear your doubts. But it will be unfair to me as well as to you both if you just don't do any effort and put the question back to us. So that is not going to help. That whole purpose will get defeated. I think that's all we have today. If there are any more queries or questions, we can take. I advise you all, please, that you all register for the examination. Okay, enroll yourself like you have enrolled in the course. Enroll yourself for the examination as well. And there, all the assignments, the questions which are giving you in the assignment, if you do all the assignments faithfully, I'm repeating the word faithfully, and that, what should I say, that with a proper understanding and yourself truly, then I see no reason why you will not be able to get 100 out of 100 in the final exam. If you are able to solve yourself all the assignment questions by reading yourself, by doing everything yourself, it will give the confidence in you, and the questions in the end examination, final examination, they will be similar to those. In fact, in some way I can say easier than those. But only thing, if you have solved the exam assignments on your own, you will be definitely able to crack the questions in the examination. So please register yourself, enroll yourself for the examinations. Still, we are having around, as per the NPTL, we have to be there for 1 hour. Still 5-6 minutes are there. If there is any other questions, we can take. We'll wait for a few minutes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Ritu was sir. Ritu Vasist, I want to be part of the project undergoing under you. How could I? I think I cannot assure you. There are, in fact, I have stopped taking any outside student under me for the project, even because my laboratory at present is full. So earlier, due to COVID, before COVID, we did take a few students from outside, but after COVID, we have not started. Right? So if we take a student from outside, definitely the method is that you have to apply it maybe through your head of the department or your local supervisor to me or other faculty where you want to work with, and if the faculty agrees, then you can come here and stay in one of the hostels, do the work, and it can be even, if they required, it has to be some sort of understanding to be developed between institutions and institutions, both the institute IIT and your parent institute. Yes, is there any other questions you can take?
Sir, one question is there, sir, from Dr. Jitendra Kadam. You can take that question, sir.
Yes, Dr. Jitendra Kumar Kadam, yes. Which is largely preferred fruit for processing. All right. There are so many fruits. All right. But all the fruits are obviously not for processing or even all varieties. So the processable varieties, but in general in India, you can say this apple, mango, banana, guava, so and other, that the fleshy fruits, soft. Again, it will depend upon the processing is a very broad term. What type of products you are making? Suppose you are going for making chips. The chips, for chips making, you have to go for a little tough fruits, hard fruit, etc., like potato, even banana, okay, which can be made into even jackfruit, ripe, unripe jackfruit, etc. So this can be made for chips. If you want to make juice out of that for processing, juice processing, obviously soft, juicy fruits. If you are going for leather processing, then you have to go for a pulpy fruits, etc. If you want to go for a fermented products, obviously you go for wine and high sugar fruit juices, etc. So that is again very big question to reply in that specific. That's what type of fruits largely preferred. That will depend upon the type of the product which you want to make. All right. Whether you want to make a dehydrated product, whether you want to just go for a packaging and as such whole products, or you want to prepare cut fruits and vegetable products, or pulp processing, intermediate moisture food. Accordingly, you have to select the fruit and fruits variety. I think it's clear. CC, what are some good bounds of sensors and meters that you suggest we buy for our post-harvest operations? Yes, that I will suggest you that you give me specific, you can note down, get my email ID or my teacher's email ID, or you put your specific question in the forum. That is post-harvest operations. What is that post-harvest operation and what is the commodity? You have to identify. That is, there is the cold chain, it is for apple, for banana, or such other fruits, and what is in which stage, because these sensors, etc., that will depend. That is the sensors inside the storage environment, or in the sensors you want to use for the packaging, in packaging, or sensors you want to use that traceability, etc., during transportation, during processing, automation, quality control, quality sensing. So that will depend. Okay, whether you go for chemical sensor or metal oxide sensor, like I told you, you know the metal oxide sensor or such other sensor. So you give me specific questions. All right, maybe through email or in through forum, we will give you a specific reply. But this is a very general question. Thank you. Okay, Ramuji.
Yes, sir.
I think, are there any more questions?
Sir, there are 3 questions from Dr. TV Ramana Rao, sir. This is not exactly the technical questions. So,
Dr. TV Ramana Rao, we have been working on developing affordable and eco-friendly technologies for post-harvest self-life and quality. That is here, sir. At the outset, I introduced myself working in the area of post-harvest operation. It is not a question, all right?
yes, sir.
Good. We also initiated working photosensitization treatment and quality maintenance of fresh cuts and vegetable. Yes, good. Thumbs up, Dr. TV Ramana Rao. Keep on doing good work. Okay. My previous workplace was Sardar Patel University, Gujarat. Presently, he is in Vignan University. Yes, there are in Vignan University. My colleagues are also there. Earlier, my students were there. Okay. IOC, thanks, mate. Very good. Poonam Yadav, good evening, sir. Very informative course. Thank you all. So, Dr. TV Ramana Rao, keep on doing good work. All right. And if you need any further technical assistance and other things from us, you can contact one-to-one connections we can make, or you can write on the forum, discussion forum. We will reply to your queries. Thank you. So,
we can close the session, sir.
Close the session now, na?
Yes, sir.
Good. Good. Session को close कर दीजिए, तब आपसे जरा हम 2 मिनट बात करेंगे. Okay, thank you all.